Here I am. I'm about to leave USC. I got hit in the eye. I got hit in the eye right here. I got hit. Like, bam, went right through my eyelid into my eye. But as I'm leaving USC, I just saw this video from this one guy, and he was absolutely correct. Like I said earlier about these psychic ability, you ain't psychic. These people are putting this fake and phony sensations of psychic ability. They give that to you, then they stage shit, and then they want you to believe that you have psychic ability, that you have psychic powers, and you don't. I mean, if you have psychic ability, your little butt would have won the Make a Million Powerball lottery jackpot. Your little butt would have won the Make a Million Powerball lottery jackpot by now, and you haven't. That should tell you something, that you ain't freaking psychic. That should tell you something, that you ain't freaking psychic. But this guy from this one video already experienced this. This is what I've been talking about the whole time. You're not psychic. There is no chosen one. These fake gang stalking victims are lying. Gang stalking had nothing to do with religion or spirituality. Gang stalking had nothing to do with the supernatural, the paranormal, the metaphysical. Gang stalking had nothing to do with new age, bibbidi bobbidi gobbledygook. Gang stalking had nothing to do with astral projection. Psychic ability, tarot cards, monitoring spirits, or that freaking thing called the chosen one. This is what Bill Cooper was talking about when he was talking about fake alien abductions. This is what the Omnisense video. Look at my video description tab talking about War of the 21st Century or transhumanism. It's both videos are in my video description tab, but one of the videos talk about fake demonic possession. Like, no, you being hit with psychotronic weapons. They're messing with your central nervous system. They can make you see demons. I've been talking about people making other people see demons for a long time, but it's not a demon. You either part of somebody's cybernetic hive mind team, and they sending these fake and phony images to your mind, or somebody's hitting you with augmented reality, cognitive liberty, neuroscience. Okay, a whole bunch of us real gang stalking victims have been seeing like demons and aliens for a while. We're not schizophrenic. No, we're not. These people are implanting these thoughts, feelings, and emotions, these images into our mind. All right. And this other dude was talking about it. Here, I'm going to see if I can find this video, and then I will connect it to this one and upload it to YouTube. Okay, USC, these people won't kick me out real soon, so I got to be careful. Okay, peace.
Mind control, manipulation, gaslighting, and illusion through staged events and violation of laws and privacy. They are stalking, harassing, and attempting to harm me. Please expose this church. They have managed to separate people from their families. Connected to human trafficking. Check my Instagram.
So I'm going to get straight into it with this particular topic. Church of God Ministry of Jesus Christ International. It is a Pentecostal church that is in over 50 countries and has more than 1,000 locations. They have connections to other organizations and to politics. They are very active within communities, helping with charity and so forth. The main leaders and organizers have various titles, degrees, doctorates, and positions with authority and access to sources that others do not have. They're connected to politics groups like MIRA and discussion of such through the Zion International magazine. They use their congregants to affect their political affairs. The church's main manipulation tactic is called a prophecy, where they make it seem like it's God speaking to you through a person. So being a part of the church, they'll ask you if you would like to receive prophecy, and if you say yes, they'll lay their hands on you and then come near to your ear and speak to you as if it is in third person, God speaking through them. So they'll start comforting you, reassuring you, speaking of you and your emotional state and your appearance, guaranteeing you of happiness and a bright future. They'll make you feel protected as if you can trust them. Once you start becoming an active member within the church, they start influencing you to become more involved so that they can get as close as possible to get as much information about you as possible. Then they start warning you of future events and bribing you, telling you that you will have the desires of your heart. Future events such as a job opportunity, a gift from another person like money, or if you're looking forward to getting a car, they'll start like telling you that you're going to have that and you're not going to lack nothing. So everything will be given to you, and they promise you, for example, college, and that'll be paid off. So other staged events include warnings of future events that can include illnesses, life or death situations, and hardships that they all stage so that when it comes about to happen, they make it all seem natural, normal, and casual, so it won't seem planned and staged. But sometimes the person might not live and they say it was God's will not to question God. But if they live, they'll ask for a testimony that they record to be submitted onto YouTube, used as propaganda to lure more people in, depending on the impact of the situation, so forth. Once the people see these events they were warned about, they start to believe that God is actually speaking to them and using these people. So that's when they start manipulating you through the prophecy. And they start telling you what to do, what not to do. They'll start telling you about housing opportunities, and they'll use their landlords, realtors, and their built homes to provide affordable options, leading you into rigged, under surveillance living areas. They will also tap phones and get information that is personal and monitor you depending on how much resources they put into you. So they will keep track of whether you follow what the prophecy told you, and even tell you things that you thought they wouldn't know. Now, when a person is disobedient or not following according to the rules of the Bible, or they're not listening to what they were told to do in the prophecy, they now will eventually warn you about God punishing you. So they will cause a hardship or an event that may affect you, or cause a illness using airborne toxins, food poisoning, and other chemicals to cause various health complications that they will probably use in these rigged, under surveillance living areas. They can cause illnesses such as seizures, heart attack, epilepsy, stroke, fainting, cancers, hallucinations, dreams, and even death, and more that aren't listed, but which also, depending on how much exposure through periods of time and what type of toxins they use, they will also use people in high positions within the church to start intimidating you and manipulating you by saying, do not question God, do not speak bad about the prophecy, or a preacher, do not lose your blessing, do you not know that God will punish you? They tell you, do not leave the church or for another church. They say, don't listen to others, that they are possessed and have demons or spirits, and that they are enemies of Christ if they expose or aren't following commandments. So they'll start intimidating you and keeping eyes on you if you're not going to church. They'll say, start coming more to church, or you're not giving him his first place. So they will also use the prophecy to tell you that God has a position for you somewhere else, a mission or a duty by God that is at another location, and they will separate you from your families, and they will take you away from groups that you grew up with and knew before the church, so that they cannot be aware or prepared for whatever they have planned for these individuals. This is also used for when they had planned a prophecy that was supposed to manipulate two groups, but then the staged events didn't go as planned, and the risk of possibility of them realizing the prophecy is a manipulation, they separate them so that they will forget about the situation and tell them not to speak on the prophecy with others, and speak about their prophecy so others won't realize what they have planned for. For example, they'll tell them about being a preacher, and if you tell somebody else, they'll start competing with you because it's a position with high authority and title, so forth. So they keep track of your banks, they have access to your banks and your information, they get as close as possible, they have you in these living area situations and so forth. They can cause any hardship, they could cause accidents, they could cause money or a job loss. They have that authority and power. They can cause all these illnesses and sicknesses and so forth that will cause you to lose a job, so forth. They control you, and that's the tactic with the prophecy. When people don't understand their capabilities and their connections to government that allow and permit them to do this because of their billions of dollars and their connections to politics, that is the problem.
The Church of God Ministry of Jesus Christ International, they're connected to political, and you use their congregants to affect those political affairs. They also use this manipulative tactic called the prophecy, where they make it seem like it's God speaking to you. So they start bribing you, comforting you, and saying things that are like kind of touching to the soul, and they start telling you about things that are going to happen in the future. So they start warning you, but they stage these events. So they'll be like, oh, an accident's going to happen, or a life or death situation, or a sickness or illness. So they bribe doctors to give you fake diagnosis or to exaggerate, and they also will send somebody to do you harm, and if you live, they ask for a testimony. So they say, oh, remember what God promised you and it happened, right? Use the testimony and to lure more people into the church. I'm with the prophecy is that they stage these events that have costed innocent lives. Even the person that was told in the prophecy they were going to make it, and they say it was God's will. Now they bribe individuals who are working for the medical and the government, and they're over here scaring these people to death, making money off the medical and you know, fake diagnosis sometimes, and even, you know, doing the surgeries and saying God healed them, but it was the surgery. So now they're using this as propaganda, basically, to lure more people in. They also use the prophecy to manipulate people into rigged, under surveillance living areas, because these people are starting to believe what they're saying, that it was God speaking to them, because they're over here violating privacy and telling them things that they thought they wouldn't know. Some of these people who are getting more involved daily, you know, they start to realize that it's fake or whatever not, but they keep their mouth shut because they're scared of the organization and their capabilities through government. So now you have certain people who are bribed and like being bribed, and then you have some people who are actually being manipulated and thinking that is God. So they start intimidating you through the prophecy. They start telling you, oh, don't lose your blessings, don't listen to that person, don't expose this, don't say that, you're speaking bad about God, that's a punishment, the God will come your way, this and that there's demons and spirits and so forth. And they start using these toxins, these airborne toxins within the church, and sometimes in the living rigged areas that they put you in. So they could cause health issues, they could cause death, and they cover up the murder. But these people have differential degrees and doctorates, and they're doctors and psychiatrists, and they have connections to people in high positions within authority and government and medical. So they use these toxins, and these toxins can cause hallucinations, they can cause dreams, and they know that the mental, when they give you the prophecy and they speak on a certain thing and they make you think about it so much, that they talk to you about it so much too, it can make you, you know, think about it a lot, to the point where you have a dream, or if you're getting exposed to these toxins, it can make you hallucinate and see it. So they therefore cover it up and say it's visions and dreams from God. That's what they used to cover up Umberto's death, and when they made the Political magazine and said he was healed from Parkinson's, but didn't really release his cause of death, right? And his cause of death was liquid in the lungs, which is from high exposure to toxins.
Now, before I get kicked off of this campus, I'm still at USC, remember, gang stalking have nothing to do with religion or spirituality. Gang stalking had nothing to do with supernatural, paranormal, and metaphysical. Gang stalking had nothing to do with astral projection, psychic ability, monitoring spirits, or the thing called a chosen one. Please Google Popular Mechanics Magazine, Psycho-Electronic Weapons Effects. Google Popular Mechanics Magazine, Psycho-Electronic Weapons Effects. The 60 Minutes Havana Syndrome episodes, the 60 Minutes Havana Syndrome episodes. Go to Total Individual Control Technology, Total Individual Control Technology 911.nwo, and read the blog. Okay? All right, so just like Sabrina Wallace, nanotech in the human body. Sabrina Wallace, nanotech in the human body. Then you got Band.video, Jesse Beltran, Band.video, Jesse Beltran, Band.video. When you go to Band.video, Google. When you go to Band.video, look up nanotech, one word, nanotech, two words, and nanotechnology, and you can see this gang stalking has nothing to do with religion or spirituality, and every single one of these fake gang stalking victims mixing gang stalking with religion and spirituality is lying. They're trying to set you up to get you in trouble. Love you, Andre. Everybody else have a good day.